Hi. Okay guys, so this video is a little bit different to normal because we're going to have a little bit look how we can do some digital art on our iPads, and I'm going to try and move quite quickly, so you might need to re-watch some bits if you need to, whatever you need to do. It's quite difficult to film, so I hope you can see what I'm doing. We're going to use this icon here, little pencil called Sketchbook. It should be in the creativity folder. I've found this one in the entertainment folder, but it should be on all of the iPads. When you open it up, it may open up and show you somebody else's work, or this one doesn't have any work saved, so you can go to the gallery and make a new sketch. Okay, if it opens up and it's somebody else's work, there's this little menu button up here, like 3 dots and 3 lines in a square. Go to there, go to the gallery, or create a new sketch. I suspect you can probably clear out some of other people's artwork that we don't need anymore, but we'll see, because I want you to use your gallery quite a lot. So I'm just going to close that, create a new sketch. There we go. So because we've been doing food photography, yes, you can use all the pens down here, you can do lots and lots of things, but I want to show you how you can make your photograph look better in an art program. And this isn't the perfect one for it. Something like Photoshop works really, really well, but that's really, really complicated and expensive. So I'm going to show you a few little tweaks you can do here. The first thing you need to do is look along this top bar, and there's a picture, landscape with a plus. That normally means insert image. And again, the little mountains is from your gallery, and you can see here this has gone to the camera gallery on the iPad and hit there on my food photographs there. So I'm going to select, just by looking at the little icons, which was my best one. That's the one I fancy, and that's opened that straight away in the app. If I press done, there we go. So now I want to show you this menu bar down the side here, and lots of drawing programs work in layers. I'm sure some of you are really familiar with that, but I need to just make sure. So layers are basically like you're stacking your pictures up on top of each other, but what's special about that is you can make one transparent. So if I work on this layer here underneath my picture, this is the top layer, my photograph, underneath it there's a blank layer. If I got this big red pen here and I wrote hi, is it going to work? I don't see anything coming out. I know it is working, it's just taking a while. Hi on the layer below. Can you see? You can't see that through my photograph. It's down there on the layer underneath. If I use the little eyeball in the very corner, there's a picture of an eye. If you tap that, it's turned to my top layer off, and you can see my writing underneath. Let's tap it to turn it back on again. And if you tap on your layer, the first thing I want to show you here is you get a menu, and we're going to be using this a lot. So you tap in the middle of the layer to bring up the layer menu. And in your layer menu, there's an opacity slider. An opacity is how see-through something is, how transparent. When it's opaque, you can't see anything through it. When it's transparent, you can see everything through it. So on a scale of 1 to 100, you can see me making my photograph more and more see-through until those letters show through. Now that's really useful because obviously we don't want to write silly words like hi behind it. I'm just going to get rid of that layer. Again, I'm going to tap on the layer menu. There's a delete option. My hi is gone. But it means that we can start stacking up layers of photographs with different edits and letting them impact on each other. And I'm going to show you just a little bit about that now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our layer. So if I press the duplicate, can you see I now have 2? I like to keep one photo at the bottom. I might even turn him off, but that was my original. So if I need to go back to my original colours, if I mess it up too much, it's still there. That's my safety net. But this one, I'm going to play around with some of the colours. The first one I want to show you is this colour balance one. It's got 3 hexagons intersecting. At the top, you'll have shadow, mid-tone, highlights. And at the bottom, you've got 3 sliders that slide between colours. Now, I've got the light in my photograph, natural light coming from this direction. You can see my shadows here. My highlights are on this side. And it's okay, it's a good photo. It's a little flat. If I'm going to use it for advertising, I want it to be a bit more shiny. There's a lot of red tones in my picture, so I'm going to just try, see what happens if I make the slider a bit more red. And I think on the film you can see that's gone really red. If I go too far, it looks like we're on Mars. That's silly. We're trying to make a yummy photo. But somewhere in this middle section here, you'll find something where you're like, oh, yeah, that's a bit better. I'm going to go a bit towards the pink because of the pink up here, and a bit towards the blue. Oh, that's made it too cold. I'm going back this way. Yeah, little tweaks, and when you're happy, try a different one on the shadow. Maybe the shadow does want to be more blue, to contrast the other one. And the highlights, maybe they want to be colder, or maybe they're good warmer. I don't know. So have a play around, little tweaks. Obviously, if you go too far, it will look really silly. When you press done, a nice trick is to go back to these layers and turn them both on again using the little eyeball. I'm going to turn the top one that I've just adjusted off. And I can see already that my colours look a lot richer in my new one, and I'm really pleased with that, so I'm going to keep him. Another trick, I'm going to duplicate the one I've done the colours on, duplicate him, click his menu, and this time I'm going to adjust his colour balance to be really quite bright. I'm thinking, what do I want on a sunny day? Get some yellow in there, like that. Okay, press done. Maybe more on the highlights as well, actually. So I've made it really glowy, like a warm sunny day. Too much. Don't like that one. I like the one underneath. But what I'm going to do is get this one to influence that one. So I'm going to click onto its menu. And this blending thing here, normal just means it's not affecting the layer underneath at all. But if I press darken, it makes the layer underneath darker. Multiply, it adds the two colours together. Colour burn, oh no, that's a bit weird. And just keep trying. Is there anything there that adds just a little bit? I quite like the soft glow, and I know that's too much now. But I'm looking with my artist's eye because I know then I can go back to my opacity. And can you see, the less I put on the glow, let's see if that's making a difference. I'm going to turn that layer on and off. Can you see, with my glow layer on, it looks even better. So let's go back, turn off our two layers. That's my original picture. That's it with the colour balance changed, and that is it with my glow layer on. It's probably a little bit too glary still. I may even take it down a bit. Okay, and I'm happy with those. I'm just going to leave those like that. I'm going to use this button up here to add an extra layer. And if you're doing a photograph to advertise or send a message, often the message can be really, you know, blatant, like buy more chips, but sometimes lots of food adverts these days have quite sort of aspirational statements, things like that. So I was thinking about something like eat well, especially since I've taken a picture of crisps, chocolate and sweets, you know. Oh well, eat well. And I put my punctuation in, full stop. When you go into a text layer along the top, you've got a menu bar here that will help you with your text. The first one lets you choose what kind it's going to be. It changes it live, so you can see at the side here, I can see what's going on with my text. I quite like what I just had. I think that was copper plate. Let's keep trying. Oh, I'm not going to find it now. Maybe they're alphabetical, Mrs. Talbot, and that would be more sensible. Copper plate, light, bold. I think it doesn't show up very well on there. Okay, colour-wise, I'm thinking red. Oh, that disappears. Pink, blue. Want something that's going to stand out quite well, but also that kind of fits with that warm tone that I'm trying to set. I'm going for that gold colour. It's a little bit like I made my glow layer look like. And then here I can obviously size it and scale it, dragging these, but also this lets you distort your words as well. Just be very careful. Too much distortion looks too weird. It's not what we're looking for, is it? If we're trying to make somebody feel good about what they're eating. That obviously, oh, didn't even know that lets you distort it even more. That's quite cool. Not played with that button before. Obviously, it's this little button here, if you're doing a lot of text, is really useful. It just lets you nudge it pixel by pixel, which really helps you line stuff up in the best place. Okay, I'm going to click done because I'm happy with my text. I'm happy with that. I do wish it stood out a bit more. Can you see over here, when I made my text layer, it makes a new layer when you press text anyway. So I'm going to go onto the layer below and see if I can't make my words just pop out a little bit. I've already chosen quite a dark red up here, and I'm just going to get my normal paintbrush. It's on quite a blobby watercolour one. It's quite large, and I'm just going to colour behind those where I want them to be. Might need to use the eraser just to get rid of some. I don't really want any of that on the spoon or on the sweets down there. Just want, okay. So at the moment that looks really obvious. You can see somebody's coloured behind their words. So I'm going to go back to that layer. I'm going to use my blending mode, and I'm going to see which one makes it stand out better. And remember, that's too much, isn't it? That's fine. I like that that's made it darker, but it's too much. So I'm going to come back and make it more see-through with my opacity layer. Okay, so that's a lot to get sorted, guys. You can keep checking by turning off the layers. You can see the difference my colouring behind the word there has made. You can see the difference my glow layer has made. You can see the difference my colour blend layer has made. Okay, I think that's probably enough. The one thing you want to do is save to the gallery. The other thing you can do while you're working is keep saving versions. So I might now do some more work on this, and when I come back to it I might save a new version. The one thing I might want to do is, yes, the only thing I might do is I want to show you this button up here that lets you look at your picture without all the menus all over it. It does still leave this brush tool here, and you can see although I've been really focusing on this section here, I'm not that keen on up here where it's gone very light. So I'm wondering about cropping my picture to get only the best part. And I'm going to do that by using this selection tool here, a rectangle. I'm going to press that to get rid, and then I'm going to think, where is the best part of my picture? I quite want to start sort of about here. I'm dragging out that rectangle, making sure I've got good bits of the words in, that they're going to fit in a nice place. And then I tap the button to get the bar back and come along here, and this weird little crisscross with a line through it is your crop. And you press crop and it will reduce the picture down to that. I'm going to save it in my gallery, save current sketch as a copy. So then I get more than one version saved. And when I go to the gallery now, you can see there's my cropped version. This is my cropped one with that top bit taken off. And this one is the one with a bit too much information that was distracting from the bit I wanted my customers to look at. So I'm really pleased with that as a start. Obviously you can play around with putting other layers in. You can try getting rid of some of the brightness, but that is quite a lot of work to get on with. Have fun altering your pictures. Bye.